Hello, I'm Scott Bogie here with Joe Hayden ahead of his upcoming fight against Lewis Booth. How are you doing today?
Yeah, really good, mate. Thank you. Looking forward to it. Training's gone really well. Um, I said it the other day, to be honest. It's probably the best I've felt going into a fight, but I say it every single time. But I just think that's just a credit to Dave's training and the training I've been putting in. That each camp, I just feel better and better every time.
Exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is your first 8 round fight, is that correct?
It is, mate. Yeah. So I was
Yeah,
meant to do an 8 round fight towards the back end of last year, and that ended up falling through. And then I was meant to start this year with an 8 rounder, but that fell through as well. So started the year with a 4 rounder, and then yeah, onto the eight now.
exactly. And do you feel like this is good progress for you to be able to go to those later rounds just as early as you are in your career?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I didn't have much experience as an amateur, so
Yeah,
I've sort of been learning on the job really in the pro ranks. This will be my 18th fight now. 17 fights in. A lot of 4 rounders, a few 6 rounders. Um, People starting to say I need to start pushing on, but I trusted the process with Dave. Dave knows what he's doing. He wasn't rushing me. Um, got the rounds in, got the experience in, and I feel like now is the time to push on and start upping the rounds and upping the level of opponents. I think the more rounds, 8, 10, 12, I think that's really going to suit me with my style, and you'll start seeing the best of me now that the rounds are getting longer.
exactly. And while you haven't really been getting the stoppages, you have been dominant in your fights. You haven't lost a single round on the judges' scorecards. How does that feel in knowing that while you may not be getting the finishes, you are still putting on these dominant performances?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's good. Obviously, like you say, won every round so far, and I think I'm not sure. I ain't checked box rec in a while to be honest, but 50 odd rounds, maybe 60 odd rounds is it? Not lost one. No, it's good. I'm happy with it really. Obviously got the one stoppage, but like in 4 or 6 rounds, when you're trying to box well and look good, it's hard. I guess
Yeah,
when opponents are in there to survive, it's hard to get the stoppages without really forcing it. And I want to box well, and a big aim for us has been getting the rounds in. So we've not really been going in there looking for the stoppages. We've just been trying to box well, get the rounds, get the experience. But like I said, now that I'm pushing on to 8 rounders, hopefully by the end of the year, 10 rounder, I think that's when you'll start seeing stoppages from me. Now I think you'll see me starting to break people down with the pressure and with the pace, and that's when stoppages will start coming now.
exactly. Because you're not because while 4 rounds, 6 rounds, they can kind of hold on for 1 or 2 rounds just to survive the fight. Whereas with these longer rounds, you do have that more time to break them down, get them out there. Do you feel so?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that the goal for 2025? Is to be able to, by the end of the year, have that 10 round fight?
Yeah, definitely. The goal is obviously start. We'll get a good win here against a good opponent in Lewis in 8 rounds, and then I think we'll look at one or two more 8 rounders maybe, and then hopefully finish the year with a 10 rounder.
And do you feel like it's important to have just these mini goals instead of just having that big goal, I want that world title fight, is to have these smaller goals like I want this 10 round fight by the end of the year, just to make it achievable to so you can see the progress you're making.
Yeah, definitely. One thing about me and Dave, we're realistic. Um, but I think in a sport like boxing, you've got to be realistic. I think it's too dangerous of a sport to be overselling yourself and saying and setting unrealistic targets. I think just one step at a time, we'll do it right. And then once we've ticked that box, then we look at what's next. And I think, well, that's what we've done so far, and that's what we'll carry on to do. And it's worked a treat so far. So why change it?
Exactly. And like you're saying, you did start the year with that 4 round fight. You were able to get a victory, 40-36 on the scorecard. How did you feel like that fight went for you?
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, that fight was meant to be an 8 round fight with Dambu, and I ended up having a couple pull-outs, and it ended up being a 4 round fight, but with a good, solid opponent in Elliot Agobi. Also, I think 2 weight classes above what I originally fight at. He come and he was a live game opponent. He come and had a go, and it was a good experience for me. But well, I was just too good for him, and after the first round, I got on my jab and I sort of put him back in that box and got the win comfortably. But for me to have that bit of pressure on me where he's coming to have a go at me, and it put me in good stead for this upcoming fight.
Now, you came into boxing,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
like you said, you didn't really have you didn't really have an amateur experience. You came straight into the pro ranks. You did start off with football. You did
yeah,
get that nasty knee injury, and then you came to boxing. Do you feel like when you had that knee
yeah,
injury, kind of had that two way you could go about it? You could recover, come into the boxing world, and do what you want, or you could go down that dark place and just blame it all. You could have been this, but if it wasn't for the knee injury. Do you feel like you
yeah.
boxing has brought you into that to get out of that dark place that you could have probably lead yourself down to?
Yeah, definitely. I've always enjoyed my boxing. I had a skills bout when I was 11 years old, and I had a couple of years boxing when I was a kid. And obviously, I made the choice either one or the other, and I picked football instead. But in the off season, I would always go to the boxing gym. I'd always do pads, bags, and I'd always do a bit of sparring as well. So I were always like in and around boxing, but never fully committed myself to it until that point where I decided I'd had enough of football, and then because I'm a very active person anyway, very sporty.
Yeah,
I needed something else to keep me going, and that's when I decided I'm going to go back down to boxing gym. And one thing led to it. It started off as a bit of a hobby, keep fit, and then one thing led to another. Um, I started taking it more serious, and then ended up training with Dave, and then one thing led to another, and now we're here.
exactly. And I remember you really appreciate Dave on how the plan that he has done for you, being able to get you as active as possible with the correct fights. How big is it to be able to, for fighters who's just coming up the ranks, to be able to get someone like Dave who knows what's best for them and not going to push you into too big waters where you're not ready for it?
It's it's massively important. I think it's everything, to be honest, especially for, like I say, for fighters just coming through, just starting in the pro game. You need that person behind you who to guide your career, who cares about your career, but cares about you as a person as well. So, and that's what Dave is. Every fighter that Dave manages and trains, he cares about them, and he don't want to rush them into something that they're not ready for. He will take your time with you, and yeah, I feel like everyone needs that because there's no rush, especially at a young age. You got to get your experience. You got to learn. There's no point rushing into it and having boxing's a short career anyways. There's no point making it even shorter by rushing things and not living up to your full potential.
Exactly. And how big is it for you personally to be able to fight on these big cards like you're doing just in a couple weeks' time in the Terry Harper card? How is it to be able to fight on the superstar cards, which is going to be put out to the big networks like the Zone and that?
Yeah, to be honest, this is massive. It's a dream come true, really. I remember saying in an interview 2 years ago that they asked me what my dream was, what my dream venue was, and I said it'd be to box on the football pitch at Doncaster Rovers ground. I always had a dream of it happening. I never realised it had happened this soon in my career in a good fight like this. But it's here, and I'm ready to grab the opportunity of both hands. I think probably the biggest event that Doncaster's ever had. So no, it's massive. I can't wait for it. It's a massive opportunity for me. And like I say, in my hometown, in front of all my friends and my family, on the local football pitch, on a world title undercard, on the zone, the biggest platform, biggest boxing platform in the world. It's yeah, it's a bit surreal, really.
And do you feel like coming up to that fight night, there's going to be a wee bit nerves before you step out onto that pitch?
Yeah, definitely there'll be nerves. Um, I think nerves are normal, really, aren't
Yeah.
they? With such a big opportunity, such a obviously such a big platform, and you put nerves and pressure on yourself as well because you want to perform well and you want to win. But I feel like I thrive off them, and that makes me perform better when I put that bit of pressure on myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but saying that, yeah, but saying that, I train as hard as I can possibly train. I put everything into it in the gym and outside of the gym, so that gives me the confidence that I need going into the fight to get rid of the nerves and the pressure and maybe the doubts that you might have in the back of your head, knowing that I've given it my everything.
Yeah,
um, in the build up to it. It gives me confidence more than anything when it comes to the fight night.
exactly. As long as you do put in the work throughout the training camp and you're not taking any slouches, you're putting your full dedication into it. Whatever happens does happen in the end. You can't really change it. You put in as much work as you can.
Exactly, and that's how I'm looking at not only this fight, but my whole career. It's not like I've had that big amateur background where I'm coming into the pro ranks with these expectations that I'm going to win this and I'm going to win that. And it's like we said earlier about the little goals. I'm not being unrealistic with it and setting mad targets. Just one step at a time, one little goal at a time, and that's how I'll take my career. Every little victory will keep pushing on, and not putting no pressure on myself to achieve anything crazy, but Um, but one thing I will do is I'll give it my absolute all, and whatever I achieve, I can say I did my best.
Well, I mean, after this fight, you can say you've been able to achieve your dream of fighting in Doncaster. Is there anything you like to do after a fight or after a win? Like any restaurant you like to go out to, any certain type of food? Do you like to spend time with your family? And what is there anything that you particularly like to do?
Yeah. So my post-fight ritual, sorry, um, has been so obviously because we get finished quite late. The only thing open is McDonald's. So my post-fight ritual has been a McDonald's. Me and my missus will go McDonald's, bring it home, get the fight back up, and I'll sit at home with my McDonald's watching it fight, and that's what we've done pretty much every fight really. Get a McDonald's and watch fight back when we get home.
Now, if you could at McDonald's, if you want to sponsor him, it'd be great. I think it'd be a great one to go into. Now,
Could be a dangerous sponsorship, but I take it.
Now, you say like you go back home and you watch the fight back. Do you feel like that just shows that puts you apart from everyone else? Is that you don't have any off days. Even after the fight has happened, you don't even wait till the next day. You're going back straight home and you're watching it and pinpointing what you could have done better.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a very harsh critic on myself as well. So as soon as the fight's done, first thing I'll ask Dave is how was it, and then sort of ask for a breakdown off him, and then when we get back, sort of I'll put the fight on, and I'll watch it back a couple of times really, and just try and analyze bits and what I done well and what I could have done better and stuff like that, and then come Monday we're back in the gym and we're working on the things and we're improving for the next one.
And how do you feel like, I know you're not going to want to give out your home game plan, but is there one or two things that you feel like you are able to capitalize on in this fight?
I just think I can do a bit of everything now. To be honest, I can box on the front foot coming forward. I can box on the back foot. Um, so whatever style people come with, I can adapt and overcome their style really. So I'm in the ring. I feel pretty comfortable with anything really. The game plan is just to go in there and box to the best of my ability, and that should beat most people.
Yeah. No, which fight so far in your career do you feel like has been the toughest ones for you?
Um, it's hard to say really. I'd probably say the toughest ones starting out because of the lack of experience.
Yeah.
I never really. It's hard to explain me. I never really knew or understood what I was doing. I just knew that I was all right at it, and then I'd go in there and just sort of go with the flow of it. So I'd probably say my early few fights starting out would be my hardest ones because I never really had full control over myself and what I was doing. Obviously, the lack of experience would cause me to get tired quite quick, and yeah, so I'd probably say them ones. Whereas now I can go in there full control over myself, knowing full well what I'm doing, when to do it. So I feel like as my career's gone on, the fights have sort of got easier and easier due to me getting more comfortable and more experience with it.
Exactly. And guys, make sure you tune in to watch Joe get another victory, get his hand raised, and move up to 18 and 0. Is there anything you're wanting to add today or anyone you're wanting to shout out?
Massive thank you to all my sponsors. Straight Line, my main sponsor. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to train full time like I am. So without them, this career and this journey that I'm on it wouldn't really be possible. And all my other sponsors, uh, they make it all possible as well. So massive thank you to all them.
That's great. Thank you for coming on today, and we can't wait to see you get up to 18 and 0. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.